Well, I was going to process chickens today, but I started weighing them alive before I butchered them, and they were all severely underweight. So I just took them back down to the pasture. They'll get another week to grow out. But this is what I was supposed to do today. So in order to feel productive, let's make a little bit of a YouTube video. This is just going to be a quick little one take on my phone. I don't really have enough time to edit. I got a lot of other things I want to do. So bear with me. I apologize that it's just on my phone, but let's get going. So right off the bat, I use a dog kennel on my farm cart. I go at night with a red lamp to go collect them. If you use a bright light or anything like that, they can see you, they scatter. You use the red headlamps, it's way easier to just go get them. I actually learned that from Big Ag. You know, they go in at night with just red lamps on. It's pretty easy to collect them. So I used to use regular headlamps. That was a nightmare. Use a red headlamp, piece of cake, right? So then they come up here. This is an old dog kennel. We just put them over there. They have access to just water, no feed. They usually eat some dirt if they get too hungry, but we collect them at night. We put them in there. In the morning, early afternoon, we start processing, right? So they go from here to our kill station. Now this is just an old 2x4 screwed on between two trees. Nice little setup. These are Wright Farm large size. They recommend a medium for broiler birds. Don't do that. These aren't even big enough. Also, I think it's because of how heavily slanted these are. I don't know if I need to like prop this up way more or something, or if it's because of this, but 1 out of every 3 chickens pops up out of here. So I don't like these. I don't like this setup. I don't know if, again, if I like brought this out a little bit more, but I mean, look, it doesn't change it much, okay? But yeah, again, these are large size and it's still hard. Right? I thought this was gonna be big enough. It looks big enough. It's still, this slims down way too much, right? Like normal chickens, it's fine, but broiler birds are like basketballs. This is too narrow to fit in. I had such a struggle trying to get them through here. So if you guys have a recommendation for cones, I think I'm gonna try like the Featherman ones next. Those seem to be really popular. They're just really expensive. But hey, I'm at the point where I need to upgrade. I thought these were gonna be good enough. I don't recommend them. Sorry, Wright Farm, but I can't. I have been using baling wire or one of these things called baling twine for the longest time. Just tie it around, cut it off, tie a knot at the bottom like this one, and that helps it from unraveling. And I apologize, there's a lot of wind now, so hopefully that doesn't show up too much. But anyway, so I just wrap it around their feet several times, do a little knot with a little loop. That way I can just pull the loop and they kind of come undone. It's actually way easier without the cone to sit there and, you know, slice their artery. If they are shaking too much, usually I just have this a little bit longer. This one needs to be replaced. And then I throw them up in here. That way, if they do pop out, and I'm telling you, I have way too many pop out. I was really surprised. I tried these cheaper ones from Little Giant. This one got a little smashed because it's garbage, but look. Yeah. I don't like those ones at all. But these ones were more expensive, but not worth it. They're also really flimsy. And whether you do screw point, you can see just from, you know, my 5-pound chickens, they're bending the crap out of these things. So again, I don't really recommend these. I wish they had a little bit better design. They need to be wider. The hole at the bottom is okay, but this, I don't know, what would you call this? It's too much. It needs to be wider. So yeah, don't really recommend those. If you guys have a recommendation, let me know. As far as killing, I like to use these small little knives. I recommend a smaller knife, right? So something like this or a pocket knife. I have 3 because as they start to dull, I just discard it. I go to the next one. And again, I only do about 15 to 20. I don't want to sit here and sharpen knives all day. And then that is good enough. So that's how I kill, right? I do 4 at a time because again, I'm doing this by myself most of the time. So I kill 2 have been bleeding out. I pick those 2 up. As the other 2 start to bleed out, I make a big old walk over here, and this is from Stromberg's Chicken Place. I don't know, Stromberg's, here you go. From that company. I don't recommend this one, okay? This is why. This is a 110 electric. I don't want to deal with gas, so I only want electric ones, but I think I'm going to upgrade to something bigger that is 220. It'll be easier for me, and hopefully be built better, because this thin little cord gets too hot, and I have already burnt out the original plug, and I'm starting to burn out that replacement plug. So after I'm done processing for the year this time, I'm just going to take this, open this up, replace it with a much bigger, thicker cord and a 20 amp outlet plug, and then I'm going to wire a 20 amp outlet and see if that helps. So I'm not doing that till the end of the year, so stay tuned to next year if I don't just sell this and upgrade. But so that plug is too small, or the cord is too small, that plug is too small. I have melted the plug. I think that's actually a third plug I put on there. So I melt plugs and I melt my outlets. And yes, there is something else currently plugged in, but that's not the problem, because it's only that overheats, and I've tried it on just one thing on that outlet. It still melts. This is like the this is the fourth outlet I'm gonna have to replace because it melts them. So anyways, this is obviously, there's something going on that it's melting all of my outlets and plugs. All right, also, if you buy this based on my telling you it's not recommended anyways, but if you do, make sure you throw a bead of silicone right here, because they don't, and as you are pulling chickens out, everything gets wet, water gets down there, all the electronics are in there. I've had this thing short out on me so many times. One time it was so bad I couldn't get it to work. I had to pop this thing off, blow everything out to get it to work again. So again, terrible design after terrible design, but it doesn't matter if it's from Stromberg's or anyone else. They build a million of these and then they just etch whatever company bought them on there, right? The LEDs on here are not bright enough. You can never tell if they are on. You like have to come and really shade it to make sure it's still working. So I don't like that. This, I'll show you right now. This is set about 130 to, below 140. But we'll take my little thermo pop, and you can see about 147, 148. It gets up to about 150 usually at that setting. So this is not accurate at all. And once you go above 145, you'll start burning chicken skin. 145 is my sweet spot. So I know about there is where I need it. The drain is not very good. It clogs up. I have to constantly take this off to unclog it. The drain hole is also up here, but the bottom of the pan is down here, so it doesn't drain everything. You end up having to tip this whole thing over and rinse it out. It does come with that little cage, that little insert. It's supposed to catch feathers. It doesn't really. It catches most of them, but not all, especially the small ones. They get through. They get through that bottom plate. The bottom heating pad is too low. You have to like bend it up to get under there to scrub. It's a huge pain to clean this thing over and over and over again. It works. It was the cheapest one I could find. They had like a sale on it. I don't necessarily recommend it, but if you do buy it, those are the downfalls. This fits 1 to 2 chickens pretty easily. And hens for turkeys, it is not going to fit your toms, the real big ones. They don't fit in. Literally, they'll take up this whole freaking section, and you have to like flip it over and over, and then a bunch of water will spill out. So I would recommend dropping that level even farther than what it is. So overall, I don't really like it, but I'm going to continue to use it because I already bought it and I don't want to spend more money. The next one, this was what, $400, something like that. The next one's like $800, $1,000. I don't know, I might have to upgrade. Anyways, let's come on over here. So then, this is my plucker. I actually had this sent to me by Roots and Harvest. LEM is the company. This is their little homesteading brand. You get an on-off switch right here. That's nice. That's a nice little upgrade. It does water, but if you turn it all the way up, it ends up spitting out all over the place because of the hose design. I also don't like how small this is and how, kind of rickety that is. The side chute is really nice. I prefer that. This fits 2 birds really well. Turkeys, good luck. You have to chop off the feet and the head or it'll clog. If you do stew hens or roosters, older birds, it'll tend to clog up as well. But for meat birds, it works just fine. I also like the handle and the wheels. This is a big upgrade over their other version, but I do enough birds that I need to upgrade to something bigger now. All right, so after we come over there, now, so you see my killing knife. I use these cheaper boning knives. They're not really flexible, but I use them to chop off the feet and the neck. That way, when, again, I have two going, I usually dull one about halfway, and then I just go to the next one. I already have two knives, they're cheap enough. So when they're done, you know, boom, just throw there, grab the next one. When I am piecing out a chicken or cutting it open or doing whatever, I prefer nicer knives. This is an F-Dick. This was something I saw on butcher pages that was recommended. It's okay, it's nice, it's better than that, but it doesn't hold an edge as well as my Victorinox. So I recommend just buying this. Every professional butcher I know uses this brand or something close to this brand. And I didn't want to spend the money on this, you know, because I got like a whole pack of these for, you know, we'll say this is 10 bucks. We'll say this is 20 bucks. This is 30 bucks. I don't actually know the prices, but this was worth it. I actually have about 3 of these now. They're really nice. They hold an edge a lot better, a lot longer. They stay sharper. I recommend something like that. So anyways, again, when I'm out here, I'm usually not piecing out chickens. So I like to use this one to kind of open up the chicken, open up the skin, do whatever I'm going to do. If I'm going to piece out something real quick, again, I will use this, and then I have this for backup. But when I actually piece out chickens, we do it after they're cold, and we do it inside our house, because then we just take those, we vacuum seal them right away. So this is kind of my backup knife out here, but it's my main knife when I start to actually piece out. So there you go. That's why I have a bunch of knives. I just recommend, it's cheap to buy more knives than it is to constantly sit here and sharpen them. I usually have my little sharpening stones, steel, ceramic thing, whatever it is, to keep, you know, the blade flat or whatever. But eventually it just dulls a little bit too much. I like really, really sharp knives, so I'd rather just have a couple as backup. This is a barbecue table from Cuisinart. I got it at Walmart on sale, clearance for like 100 bucks. It's stainless steel top, at least. That's the only reason I really bought it. It does have this little sink. I have this drizzle a little bit. So remember, I do 2 birds at once. I throw one bird under here. This little drizzle keeps the chicken dry. I live in Arizona. It's very dry out here. The skin will dry out by the time I get to the second bird. So this helps keep it a little bit moist, prevents it from drying out, and it keeps the flies away. I start to piece out one chicken. I have a bucket right here. I just keep sliding the guts over, and then every few chickens, I just rotate this. I rinse off the whole table, and then we start again. So that's my little setup. Oops, wrong way. And then I just had this hooked up to a drain. I have another piece that I usually will shoot out, so I'll water this tree, and then the next day I'll water that tree, and then I move this whole table setup all around to water the trees and spread out the nutrients. All right, so butchering setup. After that, here is my best tip right here. Stop buying ice for your coolers. Get you a freezer. Get you a used freezer. That's okay if they're not perfect. They could be dented, they could be ugly. Get you a freezer. Fill it with water. All right. Put it on a pallet so when you drain it, it doesn't soak the bottom of this. And then go get you an Inkbird or something similar. Now, you can't really see those temps, but I have it set to 40 degrees. It's currently at 41.8 degrees. And all you do is you plug this into the outlet or the wall, and then you can use this particular one for cooling or heating. Let me get you a model number. It is ITC-308. I got it off of Amazon. I don't know, 25, 30 bucks. I don't remember what I paid for it. But so you plug the freezer into the unit on the cooling side. You plug the unit into the wall, or an extension cord right here. And then off of it comes a temperature probe. So this will shut the freezer on and off based on the temperature of the water. So you no longer have to buy ice. You need anywhere from 6 hours to 24 hours to cool this water down. Depends on how hot it is outside, how hot or cold your water is, how much water you put in. This is a 7 cubic foot freezer. So you could get the 5 cubic foot. That would be a little bit better for how many I do. But I have a bunch of these. This is what we use for holding all of our pork and chicken and everything. So we're low on inventory right now. So I have about 3 of these empty. So anyways, also you're gonna need to come in here and mix this water up, because obviously there's no mixer. So it might be 40 degrees at the bottom, but it could still be 50, 60 degrees up at top. And then, you know, again, I just monitor this by moving this around to make sure that it's good. It also has a light, so I already know that this is on because it's not reaching that temp. But I just come in here and mix it around. Also, this is actually my cold plunge. I do clean it and sanitize it before I actually get in there, but I set it about 45 degrees, and then this is my cold plunge. So $200 freezer, $30 temperature controller. You have a cold plunge for 230, 250 bucks. You don't need to buy those real expensive ones. And then when you get in and out, that's what helps move this around. But this is my summer cold plunge, actually. I do have more freezers over there, but I am done using coolers. This is how I cool everything down. So again, I do about 15 to 20 birds a day by myself. I don't try to get them all done in one shot. And then I clean everything up. When I'm done cleaning up, I take these chickens, I drain them out, I put them in their bags, I put them in the refrigerator, I let them rest for 24 hours-ish overnight. The next day when I get to it, I then take those bags, I drain out all of the fluid, I zip tie them a little bit, I heat shrink them, I snatch that zip tie, I cut off any excess, I weigh it, I label it, I price it out, it goes into the freezer to be frozen. If we're gonna piece out that bird, I throw it into one of those tubs, I take it inside, I piece all those out, we vacuum seal them, and then we freeze them from there. So that is our setup. And then I use a scalder for the heat shrinking as well. You can turn it up much higher. So my scalding temperature is about 145 is what I like. To shrink the bags, I like about 195, I think is what they recommend. 195, 200, that seems to work. What else? Gloves, I like to use gloves when I process because I usually have to wash my hands several times. I don't like doing that, it ends up drying out my hands, and yeah, so I just use gloves. I'm not worried about the ickiness of the chicken. It's just I don't like washing my hands frequently. I still wash my hands, but I don't have to do it 30 times a day. And then also wet boots because this gets a lot this gets really wet. I'm getting tired. It's about lunchtime. I need to go eat. So yeah, I think that's everything. You can do everything cheaper. You can do everything more expensive. Yada, yada, yada. This video is pretty long. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I hope you watched the whole thing. Yeah, I'm going to go inside and eat lunch. See you guys in the next one. Or at the farmer's market. Come visit me. Sorry, we won't have chicken this week. Got to grow them out a little bit longer.